Welcome back to the trail with Mushy the Cowboy Cook. Today we're going to cook up some chicken, some breaded chicken, but we're not going to do it the typical way. Got something a little different, so let's get into the video. Alright, for this fried chicken, I'm calling it Chicharrone fried chicken because I am using pork skin, pork rinds, chicharrones, call it what you may. You can get in different flavors, typically sometimes sour cream and onion. I know barbecue, sometimes hot. So this is just plain, but try a different flavor if that's what you like. Find your favorite chicharrones and give it a try. Now I've got some thinly cut chicken breast. I'm going to dredge it in a little bit of flour. I have seasoned the flour and the chicharrones with the little garlic and herb seasoning. So I'm going to run it through the flour, through some milk and egg, and then to the chicharrones and into the pan. Like I said, I got these thin cut chicken breast. And they should fry up quickly. A number of years ago when I was scouting, I went to out to the scout camp for a new boy introduction in Order of the Arrow. It's called the Ordeal. And we they just had one cook out there that weekend. And I told him I'd help him out with dinner. And so we were going to bake some breaded chicken. And started working on it. And quickly, well actually before we even started, realized we weren't going to have enough breading. I think they had, breadcrumbs. And I said, well, I'll run out to the local discount store and pick up some Ritz crackers. I've used those before. Because I knew they probably wouldn't have enough breadcrumbs, but I could buy several boxes of crackers, and that should be enough. So I bought, 3 boxes or so. And we get working on it. We start popping in pans of them in the oven. It's going to be probably a little over 100 people or so. Started realizing we didn't have enough breading. So I looked in our pantry and had some plain chips. And we were already seasoning it with, garlic and herbs or whatever Italian seasoning. And of course they were all little bags, and I said let's use these. That'll work just as well. Season it just like the others and nobody can probably even tell. So that's what we did, and that was the last to go out, which the last several are the ones of us that were cooking ate. In fact, the cook that weekend, he said I think I like these with the potato chips. And I said, well, it gives you a different texture to it. But you can try, literally anything you want as far as breading goes. You can use Cheez-Its, Bugles, anything like that. Because you're looking for a crunch. And then if you go with, like barbecue chips or something like that, Doritos, that gives it a little extra flavoring. So I'm going to get these floured up, egged up, chicharroned up, and get them in the fryer. And we'll be back when they're done and give it a little taste. It's not going to take long at all for them to cook. So we'll be right back. Oh, when you hear that, you know something good is on its way. Alright, I got the last two pieces about ready to come off. Cooked them for about 5-6 minutes on each side. Flipped it. Cooked it another 5-6 minutes, and then just made sure I browned it up real good. Even had me a little piece, what I call a cooked taste. Little piece to cook the taste. 2 quick pro tips. Whenever you're frying something like chicken or fish or something like that, well, even whenever you're breading it, if you'll put it on a rack and let it dry a little bit, it tightens up and your breading will stick better. Especially if you've got a lot to fry and you're doing it in batches. Also, whenever you take it out of the fryer, have another rack with some paper towels underneath and set it on there, let the oil drip, and it won't be sitting in on that wet paper towel that's full of oil. So it'll help keep things crispy. Oh yeah. Now, like I said, these were just thinly cut chicken breast. But before I try it, I want to do another quick pro tip. Not from me, but from my father. My father passed away. My father passed away almost 5 years ago. This little thing he came up with was he probably did it 35 years ago. He came up with a number of little gadgets around the house, especially out here in the sheds. For one, he's got a couple of sheds and only one had electricity. So if he wanted electricity in the other building, you know, to hook up a light or a saw or something like that, he could run an electric cord out the building with electricity, an extension cord, and into the other one, and but you still could close the doors. What he did was drilled a little hole big enough to stick the extension cord in the side of the wall, and then he put a little frame around it and a sliding door. So when he wasn't using it, he could close the door and nothing could come through that little hole. Well, he had some twine he had bought, and what he did, he cut the side of a milk jug and stuck the thing of twine in, drilled a little hole in the cap and fished it through there, and now you got all the twine you want until you run out. In fact, what I did, I had cut some extra cardboard. You'd seen me on another video where I made up some of these fire starters where I'd roll it up, tie it with twine, dip it in wax. Well, I've got a couple of these shoved in here, so it's all in one package, ready for whenever I'm ready to make some more. I've got cardboard and twine right here all together. So now let's get into the chicken. Very good. Now using the plain chicharrones, I don't really taste them that much. If it was like barbecue or some other flavor, that I'm sure that would come through, but I am picking up obviously the garlic and herb. So if you use a flavored pork skin, I wouldn't use any other seasoning other than maybe salt and pepper a little bit if you wanted to. But let the flavor of the chicharrones come through. Nice and crunchy. Since they were thinly cut, didn't take long at all. Like I said, try chicharrones, try potato chips, try Doritos, try crackers, anything like that, Cheez-Its, whatever. And do something a little different than normal panko bread crumbs or the flour. But give it a try. You'll be glad you did. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video on the chicken, fried chicken, with not breading, not panko breading, not flour breading, but pork rind, pork skin, chicharrone breading. Very crispy, gives it a different taste. Like I said, use the different flavors they offer, different companies that make them. Barbecue, sometimes they're hot barbecue, sometimes there's like a sour cream and onion, just different flavors some companies will come up with. But give it a try. Give any kind of thing like that, crackers and whatnot, a try as far as for the breading on chicken. But the main thing, try something different. If you like videos like this, please subscribe if you haven't already. Share it, like it. That helps out the analytics for the channel and will bring more people to the channel to watch videos. And as always, ring the bell and Mushy the Cowboy Cook. We'll see you down the trail.